then booked me into the county jail. And I spent the night in jail. And
George?
Sir?
George?
Oh, the charges. 2 charges against me, both misdemeanors. One of them, failure to obey the officer's order. Failure to obey the officer's order. Because he was telling me to open the door to my car, and I was saying, this is my car, I don't want my car to be searched, do you have a warrant? Okay. If the dog is doing something, bring out the dog and show me. Wouldn't do it. And then the other charge, you're going to like this one even more, obstructing a public highway. Because of the fact that I made this encounter take too long by not cooperating, and that blocked one of their lanes of their checkpoint. So I was, even though I was begging to leave the whole time, apparently I was obstructing the lane because they were not letting me leave, because I didn't just say, oh sure, would you like to search my car without a warrant? Sure. You want to know what I had for breakfast this morning? Absolutely. And you know what was most disturbing about this whole encounter to me is that this did not seem like a big deal to these guys. I mean, as this happened and when it went on, it did not seem to affect them at all. To me, it seemed that it was just another day at the office for them. And that makes me wonder how often they've done this to people who maybe just haven't had as much of an opportunity to get the message out to people about what happened to them.
They did it to me.
Because, yeah, I mean, it's got to be happening a lot. And what I'm basing that on is how nonchalant they were about doing this to me, laughing about it, enjoying it, you know, just totally desensitized. And so, and by the way, let me say this. I am a Baptist pastor. You know, I pastor a church. I run a business to pay the bills because I don't take a paycheck from the church, but I do have a full-time paid assistant at the church to help, you know, take the burden off my shoulders there. I enjoy my job. I enjoy traveling. I really like traveling for business. And I've been going through these checkpoints for the last 3 years. And I've been going through them several times a week because my job forces me to do a lot of traveling. And the first probably year and a half of that time, I went along with it. You know, they would ask me questions, I answered the questions. They told me to pop the trunk, I popped the trunk. But you know, about a year and a half ago, I started to think this through and said, wait a minute. Why do I have to be searched and interrogated just to go from San Diego to Phoenix? Or just to go from Phoenix to Las Cruces, or to go to Texas? And I decided, you know what? My rights here are being violated when I have to be interrogated and searched just to go about my business. I haven't done anything to give them any suspicion, and yet my 4th and 5th Amendments are being violated. So about a year and a half ago, I decided I'm through answering questions to these people, and I'm through being searched. And in that year and a half, at least 10 times, you know, they've tried to grill me and search me, and I refused to answer the questions. I refused to be searched, and you know what they usually do is they just let me go on my way after 20, 30 seconds, maybe a minute or two. One time, the worst time, was when they had me for 27 minutes. You know, and then after 27 minutes, they said, oh, we got better things to do, so we'll see you later. Of course, they told me that time that I was a terrorist.
Of course.
They said, we think you're a terrorist, and I got that on videotape. They said, we think you're a terrorist, you're smuggling, you're this, you're that, and then 5 minutes later, oh, we don't have time to play this game, see you later. You know, if I'm a terrorist, then why are you letting me go? Because the truth of the matter is, they knew I wasn't a terrorist. They knew I wasn't smuggling anything. But it's all about power. It's all about them not letting anyone question their authority, even when their actions are in violation of the law. And, you know, to me, and again, let me say this. I'm a Baptist pastor, but I never mentioned one time during this whole encounter that I was a Baptist pastor. And never, all the time that I was in jail, all the way to when I got out of jail the next day, you know, when they released me from jail and gave me my same bloody clothes back, turned me out into the streets of Yuma. Nobody was there to pick me up. So I'm walking down the street covered in blood with bloody wounds on my head, and everybody thinks I'm some kind of a psycho killer. They're walking on the opposite side of the street from me. And I don't blame them because of the way that I looked. And from all that time of being in jail, the whole time, I never mentioned that I was a Baptist pastor, because you shouldn't have to be a Baptist pastor to drive from point A to point B without being searched and interrogated. And so to me, that was irrelevant. And I didn't play that card of, well, I'm a Baptist pastor, because to me, anyone who's an American should be able to drive down that road and mind their own business, do their own thing, without having to go